Morning you guys, it's Karen and I wanted to do a video for you on shaping. Shaping is a dog training method and it's something that can be used for so many different things that you want to train your dog, but it also can be used as a standalone game, if you like, just a fun thing to do with your dog. So I thought I would let you see me trying to shape Watson. I tried first to shape him to put a treat into a bowl, and then I tried to shape him to put his paws on a kind of wobble board. And as I say in the video, you can actually use it with no goal in mind. So the idea with shaping is you've got point A to point Z. Point A is where you're starting from. Point Z is, or B even, is where they are trained on a particular thing. And you just think about every step in that process, and it's like taking baby steps, and you treat and reward them for every step. So if you want them to, say, pick up a ball and throw it in the air, you would put the ball on the floor, show them you've got a treat and a clicker, and wait for them to do something. It will take a while, especially if you've never played this game with them, but they will figure it out, so do be patient. And they will probably move towards the ball. You could click them then, put their nose on the ball, click them then. But what happens is once you've clicked them, they'll think that they're just going to get clicked for that and they'll just keep doing that thing again. But then after they've done it a few times, you don't click for it and you wait for the next stage in the shaping journey, if you like. It may help you to write down every step that you want to see and every step that you're going to treat and how many times you're going to treat them. I personally don't do that. I find it easier to just sort of go with the flow because all dogs are so different and you just can't predict exactly what they'll do. So anyway, enough talking. That's what shaping is. Like I said, you can use it for any training or just as a fun exercise. So if you'd like to learn how to do it, then keep watching. Okay, so today by shaping, I'm going to try and teach Watson or see if Watson will put this, which is just an old chew toy, into this box. And so shaping, as I've explained hopefully, is basically exactly as it sounds, shaping him towards doing what I want him to do. Now, I could easily ask him to hold this and put it in the box and he would probably do it. But shaping is trying to get them to use their imagination and to try different things. He'll probably try and tip this up, put his head on it. He'll probably try and pick this up. He might immediately pick it up and put it in the box because he's used to me doing that with the toys and because he's heard it, but hopefully not. Hopefully because it's a different, it's not his normal toy box and it's a different thing that's not a toy, hopefully we'll be able to show you shaping. So the idea is you put the objects that you want them to interact with on the floor. You could literally just put this bowl on the floor and see what he does with it, and your aim could be for him to put 2 paws in it or something like that. And we'll try that. If he just gets this and drops it in the box, we'll try to shape him to put his front paws in. But you just start off by clicking for the tiniest movement towards what you want them to do. So I'm not going to click him for touching this at all, but I am going to click him for touching this to start with. Okay. So we can see that I've got treats and it will take him a minute to realise he needs to do something. Okay. Now the reason he's getting in there, he's not getting clicked for that, but the reason he's getting in there is because I've taught him to get into my washing basket, so he's obviously thinking it's the same kind of material. Uh-oh. So I'm just going to point over at the toy. Good boy. So he just put his teeth on it. Come round here. This way. Sit. Good boy. I'm just going to point at the thing I want him to work with. So I'm saying do something with this. Good boy. So he picked it up there. I'm still clicking him just for little movements because you want them to be encouraged. That makes sense. If the game goes too slowly, they'll get bored. So see how he's pushing this? I'm not giving him anything. Remember I told you I thought he'd put his head on it. I don't want to give him any clicks for this because the idea is I want him to put that in there. So If he lies down like that, I just move the thing away and it sort of restarts them, if you like. So now I've clicked him a lot of times for picking that up. I'm going to see if he'll do something different. Yes! Clever boy! Clever boy! Well, that was so quick. I didn't expect him to do that quickly. Clever boy. So hopefully that has demonstrated shaping to you. And actually it was the opposite to what I thought. I thought this one he would get straight away and that we'd have to shape him to put his 2 paws in, but actually because of him getting into the basket, that's for another training called Do As I Do, that I trained him to get into the basket. What a clever boy. Okay, so I've got this. This is a wobble board and I'd really like Watson to be able to stand on this. So I'm going to try and shape him to eventually stand on it. I'll probably only manage to get a few paws on here, but I would like him to put his paws on when he's standing. So I'll start off rewarding him for 1 paw. I won't reward him for nosing it. I will reward him for putting 2 paws on. So it's probably 1 paw, then 2 paws. I think it's good if you've got an idea of your progress plan, what you're going to reward for. Some people with shaping like to write it all out beforehand, so you could say, I'm going to teach him to use this, so first of all it will be a click for looking at it, then it will be a click for putting my paw near it, or put his paw near it, then putting his 1 paw on, then 2 paws, then standing up and putting 1 paw on, you know, like that. But I tend to not plan too much with Watson because he's such an enigma. I never know what he's going to do and I have to change the training at the last minute, you know. I don't think you can predict with shaping is what I'm trying to say. So he can see that I've got the ham here, the pork, and I'm going to put that down. Good boy. And immediately he's put his paw on it, bless him. That's good. That's a clever boy. So he's obviously put his paw on and he's just going to keep it on there thinking, well, that'll just keep getting me treats. But it won't. He'll need to put his other paw on or take his paw off and put it back on again, which I would reward him for. Clever boy. Clever boy. So now he's put both his paws on. I'll move it away so that he needs to do something else again. But he needs to put both his paws on because he clearly was able to do that very easily. Good boy. Clever boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. That's a good boy. So now he's got to the 2 paws stage, but I want him to do this standing up. So let's take that away. You stand for mummy. Good boy. Stand. Oh yes, yes, you've done it already. Clever boy. Uh-oh. Well, you can get a click for that. That was my bad there. I shouldn't have been saying uh-oh really, because he was sort of half standing, half sitting. So if he's doing this from sitting with 2 paws, good boy, which he sort of is, then he's definitely going to get a treat, and then we can shape it towards standing. Stand up, darling. Good boy. Clever boy. Good boy. See, he took him off really quickly because clearly that feels unbalanced to him. So now he's doing it. Clever boy. Yes. And he's keeping them on there. I was going to say now I'll start rewarding him for keeping them on longer and longer. And then eventually I'll see if he could maybe get on it and sit or something. It's all gone now, darling, all gone. There's a few little bits in there. Hopefully you can understand now what shaping is, and that's just one method of training. And you can use shaping for absolutely anything. I mean, you could just get a toilet roll, you know, an empty toilet roll, and put it down in front of your dog. And you can either decide beforehand what you want them to end up doing with that. Maybe you want them to pick it up and throw it in the air. Maybe you want them to nose it. Maybe you want them to put their nose inside it. Maybe you want them to drop it in something. Bat it with their paw. You could put it standing up. Maybe you want them to knock it over. You can decide what you want them to do and sort of click and treat on anything that is working towards that. So if you wanted them to knock it over, it would be a click for looking at it first, then putting your paw near it, then putting your paw on it, and then knocking it over. Or you can just not have an end goal. You can do shaping. That's him ringing his bell to say he wants to go outside. We'll go for a walk just now anyway. Mummy's come in, we'll go for a walk in a minute. You can just do shaping for the sake of it. So you could literally get this and put it in the middle of the room and have no goal in mind. And in fact, it's a game called New Trick, and you could just say the word new trick. And the idea is basically that they can do as many things as they want with it, as long as they just keep on doing a new trick. So you could maybe put this in front of them, click for one paw, click for two paws, then click for a nose in, then click for pushing it, you know, things like that. The best thing to do it with, I would say, is a big cardboard box if you want to just do that kind of anything goes game. And you literally just have to wait for them. So they'll first just sit there and look at the cardboard box for, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then they'll do something with it and you click and treat them. They'll then probably do that same thing again. I heard you, darling, Mummy will be there in a minute. Mummy's coming. They'll probably do that exact same thing again, and then you just have to say, uh-oh, new trick, or just say uh-oh and let them do something else, and hopefully then they get to understand that they just need to do different things with it. And like I said, I promise you it will tire them out. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that it made sense. Any questions, let me know and ask in the comments below, and I'll speak to you again soon.